Come aboard. This is my boat of 1,000 years. Hurry, there is great danger. I'm going to take you to Alexandria to meet the last librarian of its great library. The past has something to show you, and the librarian will guide you there. Although you just have one day, and then you must return. Look down. We have arrived. It is 415 AD. You can see down there Alexandria, the Serapium. The library is over there at the gates. Sit the guardians, Serapis, Osiris, Apis. We will land there at the harbor to not draw attention. Look at the beauty of Alexandria, founded by the great Alexander himself in 331 BC, whom the Egyptian high priests ordained as the son of their god Amun. We have arrived. I know you have heard in your time of the great Lighthouse of Alexandria, built in 283 BC by Ptolemy I. It stood 333 feet and was the tallest man-made structure in the world for centuries, and one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Quickly, disembark. We have to get to the Serapium quickly. There is your guide, Hypatia. Her name means the supreme, evidenced by her beauty the philosopher Synesius, in a poem to her, wrote, "Nothing in the world is more wonderful than her, even in Hades. It is only her that will be remembered." She was adored by many and worshipped by some. She is the last librarian of Alexandria. She will show you the wonders and will tell you the story of the ages. There, go now. I've been waiting for you. Come walk with me. This is the great Serapium. The Serapium is a center of learning dedicated to the god Serapis, a Greco-Egyptian god representing the merging of Hades, Osiris, and the Apis bull. Here you will find Christians, Jews, pagans, all learning and living together. I know, as I am their teacher. The city's foremost scholar, I became head of Ptolemy's schools of teaching. You'll find all subjects from tragedy, history, physics, astronomy, poetry, science, and medicine, in all of the languages such as Latin, Arabic, Babylonian, Hebrew, Egyptian, and Greek. Come, let's go inside to the library. Here we have over 500,000 books, scrolls, codices, and at the Serapium, half of that number of books. It is the largest store of knowledge the ancient world has ever known. A copy of every single book in the world is said to be stored here. Here, highly skilled scribes copy word for word manuscripts that were purchased, traded, or found on boats in our port, which are usually returned and always paid for or reimbursed to the original owners. The scribes are paid a very good wage, and that wage is calculated by the amount of words that they transcribe. At the Serapium, there are over 20 lecture halls, and our class sizes are just around 30 students per class. Some of the favorite subjects are law, science, medicine, and rhetoric. Isis, Serapis were both worshipped here. This is where I, Hypatia, toil over the greatest issues of the day and pursue subjects and topics that I am passionate about. I design and utilize astrolabes, or catchers of the stars, which can be used to telling time of day, latitude, altitude, height of mountains, depths of rivers for exploration, trade, astronomy, and conquer are all aspects that can be used with the astrolabes. But the world weighs heavy now. The air is thick, and the stars tell a story of tragedy. Sit down. After the adoption of Christianity by Constantine, radicalism and extremism from all religious sects here in Alexandria have created a very dangerous atmosphere and threatened the age of enlightenment and ascension to the Golden Age. They are violently clashing. Hatred against one another is high and excelling at an expedited rate. After the death of Theophilus, he was replaced by Cyril, an extremist. Chaos and violence reign supreme here now in Alexandria. Look out this window. This will be the last time you see Alexandria in all of its glory. The true cause of destruction of this great city, its library and lighthouse, was not this religion or that one, this faith or that faith, but religion utilized as a tool in the maniacal grips of tyrants. As a Neoplatonist, it is the problem of evil. The tyrant always wants to extinguish the light for man to see the truth. I am Hypatia, the last librarian of Alexandria. I must now leave you, as this is my final day at the library. These are the ancient accounts of what happened next after Hypatia departed. And in those days there appeared in Alexandria a female philosopher, a pagan named Hypatia, and she was devoted at all times to magic, astrolabes, and instruments of music. She beguiled many people through her satanic wiles. And the governor of the city, Orestes, honored her exceedingly, for she had beguiled him through her magic, and he ceased attending church, as he had been his custom. And he not only did this, but he drew many believers to her, and he himself received the unbelievers at his home. Cyril, the new leader of the Christian movement after the death of Theophilus, was so struck with envy that he immediately began plotting her murder, and the most heinous form of murder at that. It did not matter that this report of magic and satanic wiles was not true, nor that Orestes was a pagan, not a Christian, nor did it matter the nobility and virtue Hypatia possessed. One day in 15 CE, as Hypatia was turning home, she was set upon by a Christian mob, torn from her carriage. She was then dragged into a church where she was stripped naked and battered to death with roofing tiles, and while she was still feebly twitching, they beat her eyes out. They then orgastically tore her body limb from limb, took her mangled remains out from the church, and burned them at the edge of town. And when the flame of Hypatia was extinguished, the library, the Serapium, and then the great Lighthouse of Alexandria was extinguished, and the dark ages were summoned upon man, although Hypatia, the last librarian of Alexandria and the first martyr of science, lives on. After witnessing this tragedy, Pilatus, an Alexandrian poet, wrote, "Is it true that we Greeks are really dead and only seem alive? In our fallen state, where we imagine that a dream is life? Or are we truly alive and life is dead?"